All right, guys, today we're gonna be installing this kitchen faucet. We're here in the studio apartment that we're working on, and put a kitchen cabinet in, we put the sink in, now we're gonna put the faucet in. So I'm gonna walk you through how to do that. Let's get rolling. First thing you're gonna do is unpack the faucet you bought. I picked this one up at the hardware store in town, and it's set up for the 4-hole configuration, which is what I got here. So it looks like it has faucet and got the sprayer. Pack this thing, pretty straightforward I think, but we'll read the directions anyway. We don't want to miss anything, end up with extra parts. All right, we got our faucet out of the box. First thing I'm gonna do is hook up the sprayer hose. The best thing you can do for yourself is try and straighten this out a little, because once you get it hooked up, it's gonna be really hard to do that. And this fitting actually has a little rubber seal on it, and that will press up against this fitting here, and that's what makes your seal. Get your handy dandy wrench out. Instead of looking for the right size wrench, I got this little channel lock adjustable that I really like, so I use it, but you're probably better off if you can find the right size wrench. You won't slip off or anything then. All right, next thing we got is we're gonna go ahead and install this faucet on the sink base. And you can see it's got like this little plastic washer type thing. You could add silicone if you wanted to between this and the sink to help provide a good seal. I feel like this does a good enough job, so I don't do that. All right, then you're gonna feed your sprayer hose nozzle down through the center of the 4 holes. You're gonna slide your hot and cold water hookups through the other 2 holes. They give you these 2 little nuts, and you're gonna go underneath the sink now. Try and hold the faucet steady from up top and tighten these down. All right, this is the hot and cold water hookups. You're just gonna start these nuts on there. And then what I like to do is I'll start them on there, get them kind of snug where I can still move the faucet. And then I'll go up top and reach my long arms underneath the sink and tighten these the rest of the way when I'm holding the faucet so I keep it in place. All right, once you get that tightened down, you've got it where you want it, we're gonna go ahead and put our sprayer nozzle. All right, so I messed up. You actually need to run the hose through this piece before you tighten on the faucet. Since we've already got that installed, not really an option now, but I was able to get underneath there and take that fitting loose and pull it back out. So take 2, we're gonna do it the right way this time. Go ahead and feed your hose through to this trim piece. And you actually probably need to install that first. It'd be easiest. We'll go ahead and take this nut off the back of here. Go ahead and feed your hose down through. Now that we've done that, we're gonna go ahead while I'm right here and attach the sprayer nozzle. Just gonna spin that thing on there. Once you get that thing spun on, we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the faucet, and we're gonna go underneath and put the nut on the bottom of this trim piece. Feed that around your hose there, all the way on up. To here. All right, now we're gonna do some rework. We're gonna hook this back up where we had it before. Turns out it's a lot easier if you get the right size wrench. Mine was a 15 millimeter. Yours would probably be different, but Much easier than using an adjustable, especially in these tight quarters here. Well, the basket strainers on this sink were a little bit rough, so I went ahead and pulled them out, and we're gonna put new ones in. I'm gonna show you how to do that. You definitely wanna make sure you get these areas very clear, free of any debris. So I did that already. So here's the new basket strainers we're gonna put in. I got these, they were like, I don't know, maybe 12 bucks a piece. I got new ones for both sides. I got me some plumber's putty here. We're gonna use to seal between the basket strainer here and this lip here. And then on the underside of this, it's got a rubber seal. So first thing you wanna do is you wanna get some putty out and roll it into like a little snake. Like pretend you were playing with Play-Doh as a kid and just roll that thing up, and then we're gonna place it around this lip here. So just roll this thing up in between your hands into a snake-like. Just roll it in there. You see, you want something kind of like that. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this, we're gonna put it around here. And you wanna make sure you got plenty, because it's gonna squeeze out any excess. So I go a little bit heavy on it. Like I said, it's better to have too much than not enough. Maybe another little piece. Should look like that. We're gonna go ahead and push that thing down in here. Put it down in there like that, kind of get it lined up, and I just push it in so that it stays centered. And this should squeeze out all around here when we tighten this in. So you've got that thing pressed in. We're gonna go underneath. We're gonna put this on and tighten the nut. That's what it looks like from down here. Push that thing up there a little bit. Like that. Line that thing up snug. And you can see as you're running that in, it's gonna tighten this down. You should start to see it get nice and flat here. I'm gonna get a wrench, I'm gonna tighten this down. When you get done tightening that thing, it should look like this. It should have pushed a bunch of that putty out. You ought to be able to just peel that right off. There you go, got it cleaned up. I don't have it completely centered, but it'll be fine. We're gonna just repeat the same thing we did here on the other side. Same deal on the other side. You can see it smushed out all that plumber's putty. And that's all it takes, guys, to swap out a basket strainer. All right, so I purchased this double bowl sink trap kit, and you can see it gave me the tail pieces that will hook onto those strainers I just put in. And they each have a 90 off of them that goes into a T, and that will go down to our trap. So you can see I already got my tail pieces installed. They're pretty self-explanatory. And then I've got my first 90 on over here. And these just seal with one little rubber seal and a nut. So you slip the nut on first, then the rubber seal. So we're gonna do the same on this side here. There's our 90. I'm just gonna slip this thing up there. Like I said, it'll seal right there on that rubber seal. And we're gonna slip our T in place. So go ahead and slip that on there. Kind of turn it out like that. Right there. And then you can just push it right in place. And there you go. So now you can, I like to start all of the nuts and not tighten anything down all the way until I have everything set in place. That way I can move this thing a little as we get rolling. So you can see what we have right here. And now we just have to get this piece over here into the trap. All right, guys, I had to do some finagling. I showed you where I put the double sink base drains in, and then I had to get back to this trap I originally had. I did that with one of these quick connect 90s and another 90 over here and a short piece I had to cut. Now we're gonna go ahead and throw those faucet supply lines in. All right, guys, we've got our supply hoses. Go ahead and hook these rascals up. Just thread that on there. It's got a little rubber seal in there, so you don't need pipe dope. If I can get this thing on there straight. All right, once you get those started on there, you just tighten those bad boys down with a wrench, get them snug, and then we'll drop down here. We're gonna hook up the supply side. All right, then you just start your supply side. This will be what's coming out of the wall. Hopefully you got a valve there you can shut off, and hook these lines up on that side. Same deal, get them started, tighten them down with a wrench. All right, I've got those tightened down. It's the moment of truth. We're gonna run some water into here and we're gonna see if this sink works. And we got water. Beautiful.
Woohoo! Beautiful, Dad.
All right, now we're going to let this run for a little bit and we're gonna check for leaks, make sure none of our drains leak down here, make sure none of the supply lines leak, and once we do that, this job will be finished.